Hey guys, B Twice here. Today is Sunday, September 5th. I hope everybody's having a good holiday weekend. As most people know, I have not been putting out as many videos. I just don't have the time to do so. So what I have been doing is I have been every day when I do my charts or when I do have time to do them, I just post them publicly on TradingView, and then I just link them on my Twitter. My Twitter is at BTwice2. Um, so you can follow me on there. And if I ever do more than 10 charts in a day, TradingView has a public limit of posting 10 charts. So what I'll do is I post them private and then I just put the link up on my Twitter feed. I tweet it, and then you guys can get access to it. So the way TradingView works is when you publish a chart, at any point in time, you can go back to that exact chart and hit play, and it'll show you everything that has happened since I posted the chart. So you can basically see, did the price action go the way that we wanted it to, yes or no? It does it look like it's nearing a buy zone, stuff like that. So these charts that I'm going to talk about today will be posted publicly right after this video is done. So with that being said, let's jump into SPY. So what do I think is most likely here? So we've kind of been on this melt up. We're looking to find our primary wave 3 top. And based on the price action that we have seen, it looks like we've put in a 1, a 2, a 3. We've either already put in the top for 3 or maybe we go a tiny bit higher this week, put in the top of that 3. We'll have a slight pullback. It'll probably be pretty shallow. And then from there, we should continue the melt up. It does look like all signs right now are pointing for SPY to hit somewhere in the 460 range before we hit our next correction. It would not surprise me if we hit our next correction right before option expiry again this month. Obviously, most people probably know that it seems like every month, right around the 19th or so, is when we've been having these corrections. So don't be surprised if it happens a little bit early from that. Maybe it happens late next week or early the following. But that's going to give us another dip buy opportunity. That should be a bigger flush than what we've seen, just because it's going to be a primary or yeah, primary wave 4 that we're going down for. But it does look like it's, for me, the highest probability says that hey, it's probably going to be the mid 430s is what we're going to be looking at as a bottom. It could go as low as 427. It could go into even like 415 range. I just don't see that. So we'll keep an eye on this. But once we do get rejected and we find our top, we'll look for at least 3 waves to the downside to find our entry. But I'm liking somewhere in the mid 430s around this support where the last drop took us. A lot of the dips we've had in this market have been extremely shallow, so it is possible that it would bottom at 440. So we want to make sure that we're watching, looking for the signs of reversal. A lot of times you can use the RSI to help you with that. Obviously, you can see we've been bottoming right around this upper trend line. So when we do find our top and we come lower, our expectation would be is that we'll watch the RSI to see when we can possibly find some support here. So from there, once we do find our bottom, I think we're going to be going up for a wave 5. That primary wave 5 likely is going to be taking us up to somewhere around 500 here on SPY. That could take us somewhere into next year before that happens, before this market actually completely tops. So that's what I'm seeing right now on SPY. Let's look at QQQ. Okay, so QQQ, it looks like we're having an ending diag right now, an ending diag structure to finish off our wave 3. And basically what I'm seeing is the same thing as SPY. I think we'll get a little bit of a retrace this week. If we didn't already bottom for this, is just very small retraction at the end of last week. But I do think we're going to head higher. And right now, I do think that the signs are pointing for QQQ to hit somewhere right around 390. And then once we do get up here, I do think we're going to kind of have a little bit of a blow off top situation. We'll get rejected. We're going to be heading down for our wave 4. Now, our wave 4 could be, it's a pretty big range. It could be as shallow as 375. It could be as low as 353. Right now, I think just based on what we're seeing with SPY and where I think that that's going to bottom, I think that QQQ is going to kind of follow the same path. I think it will probably find a bottom and find support right around the last correction that we kind of had for this wave 2. So I think about 360 is likely where we'll find our support. But just like with SPY, what we'll do is we'll look at some trend lines on the RSI, and we'll just look for other clues. Where's IWM at? Where are the other indices at to try to figure out where the bottom can take place? And then we'll look for 3 waves to the downside. Because with wave theory, when you have a 3 wave correction, whether it's an ABC or WXY, I guess that would be a 7 swing, but when you have those 3 to the downside, you generally get at the very least 3 waves to the upside. So that's what we'll be watching for. But that will be a dip to buy. All right, let's take a look at IWM. All right, so I had this chart posted up last week, and it looks like we are still following that. So where are we going? So last week I talked about how I thought IWM was going to be put. I drew this arrow up, and it looks like we're going to be pushing up to this 232 range. From there, we should get rejected, and that's kind of in line with what we're seeing right now across the other indices. Is that we have a little bit more upside to go before we're ultimately going to get rejected and head lower. So what do I think is going to happen? I think that IWM is going to keep pushing, keep pushing. It's going to hit this 232 range. Somewhere right up here is actually a spot that if you're long IWM, you either want to hedge or even potentially take your profits and go cash. It's even a spot that's a potential short because it's been rejected this upper trend line multiple times now. From here, it should get rejected again, and it's probably going to be heading back down to this lower trend line, and then that's going to be our E. So we're in this running triangle. So far, we've had an A, we've had a B, we've had a C, and we've had a D, and we're going up for our D, and then we should pull back for our E, and then we're going to be launching to all-time highs. And that also makes sense with what we're seeing with the SPY and QQQ. SPY and QQQ should be pulling down for a wave 4. They're going to have one last hurrah up for wave 5, which is going to take them even higher into all-time highs. Like I said, I think SPY 500. I think QQQ is going to go into the 400s. I think IWM has a chance to get up to maybe even 250 after this next correction. So this is going to be a great dip to buy if we get it because within the next several months or maybe by early next year, IWM is going to be pretty extended. But with that being said, when we do hit this 232 range, be very careful because we're likely looking at probably a 10% flush from that range. We'll likely go down to this other trend line that's kind of going through the middle of the channel. We'll get a bounce from there, and ultimately we'll head lower. So. Hopefully this all makes sense. If you guys like these charts, go ahead, hit a like and subscribe. I will continue trying to get some videos out on the weekend, but for the most part, I will be posting my all my charts for free on TradingView, and then I will be publishing them on Twitter. All right, guys.